Hello again, friends. It's your boy Mikey Beal, PDGA number 133253, and let's talk form. Welcome to tea time. First things first, let's revisit the graphic just like we did in the last video regarding elements of a good throw. Place the disc on your intended line of play, adjust your step approach to fit the line, follow the power arc as shown in this graphic as well. Follow the power arc as tight as you can get it to your body. Then place the plant foot in front of the disc on the intended line of play. Unload that arm tension entering the power pocket, then unload the hip tension that you've created by closing your hips away from the intended line of play, and then full send. Okay, right? So that seems like a good idea in theory. So, like I said, form is a theory. It is not a uniform concept. It is not something that everybody has to do the same exact motion, but following these simple rules can enhance your game and give you more control over it. So let's take a look at Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so here we go. This one is, well, you can't see it, but I know that this video is affectionately called Adam Big Heiser. So I know he's using an Adam from MVP Disc Sports, and he's throwing it on a Big Heiser. Tea time. Oh, I hope you guys didn't have to hear that. I like my tea very, very hot. So anyway, he's throwing it on a Big Heiser. So let's go ahead and break it down. As always, we will watch the video and then we will break it down. I just need everyone to know how cool that release is. It's very clean, the release is. It was very clean out of his hand. There was no slight wobble at the start. I mean, it was a very clean and controlled shot. That's something you should be very proud of. But this is the one thing that dictates for me, and this is how I knew it was a Heiser, even though I read the name. I know it's a Heiser because he's lining up with a specific direction. He's lining up. His foot is here, and the back foot is looking like it wants to step about right there. So he's going to place that other foot right around here. And if he goes through, you can see when it comes to his arm, that positioning right there is indicative of going upwards, right? Now, does he follow that line 100% of the time? That's a good question. That would be something for the scrub to tell. Wow. Okay, so maybe he crossed his body a little bit more. That's just me being excessive with it. Look at that disc, though. Disc on the intended line of play. Even though we watched it, we knew it was going to happen there. That's just what I meant by the arm is indicating that. That's his intended line of play. I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with this Arizona course, and I'm unfamiliar with where the basket is. So I believe by throwing such a massive stock Heiser with a putter that it's only like 250, 280. I think it's a fairly short hole, and I feel like the basket's around this area. Now, I don't know where the disc lands, but I do believe that that's where you're going with it. I can't complain about anything form-wise. Your form in this video specifically is clean. I was very impressed the first time I pre-watched it. I mean, just look at the way you transfer that weight, and you're not you're not closing your hips too much, which means you're just trying to do a controlled shot, which is why I think you're trying to be in the 250 to 280 range. And that's just me guessing. I don't think there's any real really good way of getting around that tree. I think you could probably take a stock mid that's mega overstable and get some really good ground play with the Arizona dirts. But honestly, I don't know. I've never played in Arizona, and I'd love to. Oh, I kicked my microphone again. Anyway, I think I'm very happy with this video, and I think you are too. One comment I could make is that this foot over here, while the heel is planted here, I think the heel could stand to be planted around here, just to give you that extra push. And you'll see in another video what I mean by that, because in this video, and I really enjoy it, is when you come through on your Heiser, look how tight that disc is to your body all the way through. And this is probably why your Heiser or your stock Heiser is your cleanest shot. This is like penultimate form. Every aspect of what you were doing dictated the line. It's something that is phenomenal to watch as somebody who loves to break down form from the top to the bottom, and somebody that really pays attention to little minute details. But it is definitely something I am very happy with, and I think you should be too. On to the next video. So this one is also affectionately called Adam Heiser. So MVP Disc Sports Adam. I used to bag those as my primary putter. Then I switched from an Envy to the Adam to try it out. I realized that the Adam I have been sleeping on for months, and then I fell back in love with the Envy, and then I tried the Nomad, and I fell in love with the Nomad because the Nomad has the right amount of glide for some days, but then I noticed that it has too much glide for the days where it's really windy, and I don't like that. So again, I fell back in love with the Envy. So I am one of those heathenistic Envy putters. I also throw the same Envies that I putt with because I don't care. So what I want to talk about is, well, I guess the traditional thing. We're going to watch the video, and we're going to see whether his shot was properly indicated by his form, and see if I can offer some any insight on it. I'm already happy with it. I'm happy. Look at the way he like puts his hands back. He's like, gotta have me a beer after that one. That's a good there, stock Heiser. We gonna watch that one, Bobby. We gonna watch that one. We're gonna watch that one fall. It says it's gonna be a little short. That's what they said in the video. It's gonna be a little short. I'm assuming that the basket is like right there. I don't think I'm right about it. I don't know if it's on a pedestal or if it's on like a platform or anything. Shout out to the Moonshine Pants over here. Bing Bong. Shout out to those. So I don't know exactly where the basket is, obviously. I think it is another stock Heiser. I feel like there's a lot of really great things about this hole, and if he's using a putter, he's got some really solid distance. It's probably a 310, 320 foot hole, and he's trying to park the basket with a putter. Definitely MA1 levels of play. He's probably playing really well most of the time. So far the form looks fantastic. It's nothing to be like upset about. I just want to go back, and I think the reason why it was a little short was when you did your step. Your back foot goes there. You're dictating the power pocket with your front foot, but you're not following. Look how far in front of your shot it is. Oh, I don't like that color. I don't like that color. I want something that makes sense. If you look here, okay. Let me draw the chest there so it makes sense. Sorry, I'm using a mouse again. Like I said, I haven't fixed my pen. Otherwise, this would make more sense. So if you look here, remember what I said about planting? I think you keep the pocket tight to your body, and I think that's fantastic. But I think this is indicating, and while the release looked pretty good, maybe it was further right than you were looking for a stock Heiser. Maybe it was just a little bit further to the right when you released. Just because of that, a little bit of variation, a little variance in this area right here. There really isn't much to be said about it. Also, I need to talk about sky appreciation in Arizona, man. This course is gorgeous. You've got the mountains in the background. The sky was fantastic. Man, I wish I was in Arizona right now. Oh my goodness. Illinois be looking worse every single day, brother. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. God, it's beautiful there. And I got a homie in Tucson. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to move. He says in the summer it's the worst ever, but ain't nothing a couple gallons of water a day can't fix, right? Okay, so here we go. Look at this. Look how your hips are opening already. So you're pushing off that back foot and you're entering the power pocket at the same time, which looks fantastic, right? This is all indicative of a really good throw. But like I said, I think your line is here and it's way outside the indicated line here. Normally your stock Heisers, you're probably going to release in that area. Unless your arc started here, your back foot was here, and your front foot was in the same place it is now. So that way you were moving in the direction of it, and your body was moving in that direction. But you started like over here. So you were relying on the release to do all of the work. Versus utilizing your lower body and the angle of travel to like dictate it. The form is fantastic, but it's the concept of what your body was doing and what the lower body was doing to execute it. I think you definitely would have parked that shot. I think you've parked the shot many times before, but I think you would have parked it if you were on the line 100% of the time there, and you were inside the power pocket. You're just outside of it, I think, in this one, just outside of it. But it's overall not bad. I can't say anything. Like, look at that. It looks like it's full control all the way through. Look at the way you take your fingers off of it. You're inside the power pocket at the front end, but you're not inside the power pocket all the way through. I mean, it's stock all the way. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. There is, like I said, the energy loss. You went short just because you're a little bit on the outside on the pull through, just a little bit. It's not much, but it doesn't take much to lose that extra 10 to 15 feet. Just a couple of revolutions per minute is going to stop you from getting that extra 10, 15 feet that you were looking for. Or maybe it's 20 feet that you were looking for. I do not know the distances. I'm just guessing. Okay, so this one's my style of shot right here. A laser shot. I love throwing dead straight shooter shots. I love them. If I can find a tunnel, I'm going to shoot that tunnel all day long. Anyway, this is my favorite shot. It is a stock bullet shot. Let's do the usual. Oh my goodness. Let's rewind that back. Let's just rewind that back. Yo, run it back. Run it back. Yeah, y'all need to hear this. Don't mind the guy with the camera. Don't mind him. All right. Don't mind the guy with the camera. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do it again. Don't mind the grunts. Holy moly. The snap that came off of that man's fingers. Oh my gosh. That's a Drew Gibson throw right there. That's a Drew Gibson throw. Let's talk a little bit about the legs. The upper body is fantastic. There's like literally, it's just a little bit of variance off of what you're looking for. I am assuming that the basket in this area is in, like, if it's a laser shot, I'm assuming it's like right over here, Okay, that's where I'm assuming it is, which means that as you place your foot, your back foot's going to want to be here, your front foot's going to want to be here, and then your disc is going to want to follow this line, right? Atoms tend to fade a little bit, so having some variance over here is not that big of a deal, right? That's just me guessing. I'm sorry, I don't know Arizona courses, but forgive me. So I think that your line was pretty well hit. Wow. I wasn't watching the feet that intently, but I'm pretty close. So the disc is on the line that I'm talking about. The disc is on it, but his foot is just like, it's just shy. I wonder if this one was parked. Now, his control shots are just phenomenal. These control shots are unbelievable. There's really not much else to say about it. He hits the line, exactly the line that I believe that he's going for, based on what his body wants to do in the lower body, just in the feet alone, and where I think the basket is. So he places his feet correctly. This has got to be a home course. It's not anything new. This has got to be a home course. I mean, everything is looking extremely clean. Enters the power pocket, uses the hips to starts unloading the hips while it's resting in the power pocket, and he's unloading. And the only thing I don't like is how far away his disc is from the power pocket, because if his power pocket, and I'll draw this, was right here initially, it's pretty close to that line. It means he's taking rotations off the disc to sacrifice getting it to fly in that area. But the grip, good Lord, the snap on that disc. So anyway, it is a phenomenal shot. That's a doozy, man. It really is great. Like I said, I think that your arm created a little bit of variance and was outside of the power pocket as you pulled through. Had a chance, but had you not been outside, you had an even better chance. I think pulling through the line that your front foot is generating is going to give you that extra 10 to 15 feet, maybe that extra 25 feet, just depends on how fast you're pulling your arm through. But everything is right in theory. Everything looks fantastic. So, on to the next video. Now, I need to talk about, again, how beautiful this is. Okay, look at how the T-pad flanges out. I've wondered to think that there's a specific shot line, and I don't know where the basket is, and I'm trying to like stare at my screen so that I could see it a little bit better. But I have no idea. The basket is probably, and I'm trying to read the sign over there on the right. If you go dead straight off the tee, I'm assuming it's probably about right in that area. It might be in this area or over in this area. I want to see where the disc flies first before we go. If it's over here, I'm going to assume that his front foot is going to be right here. If it's over there, he's going to want his front foot over here. Okay, so let's just see. So like I said, this one's 1 for the right side, soft Heiser. 2, okay, for the dead straight shot. And that's what I think. I don't know. Let's do the pre-watch. Oh. So I meant to turn the volume down on that one, but I really wanted to talk about how supportive it is when I go, I think you're aiming for this zone or this zone, and I can't see the basket, and then I go, oh, but I think it's right here, or I think it's right here. And if it's right here, then you're going to want your foot here. If it's right here, then you're going to want your foot right here. And he goes and he places his foot on spot 1. It just goes to show what I know about course design and how to play. Now, if you guys remember, as if it happened so long ago, he throws it. A lot of people say it's better. You can see the disc come in. They're saying it's a little short, and it hits the ground just to the left of the first basket selection that I said, and flares up all the way over here. Okay. Oh no. So that's what is happening with that one. Okay, so let's go back down into the footwork. He is using an Axiom Hex, which is my favorite disc of all time. Let's talk about his walk up. So I get a soft foot placement here for his calibration. Then here's his load. There's the load foot. Okay, so he's ready to load. His disc is on the intended line of play. His chest is preparing the power pocket. Everything looks clean. And he's aiming for another Heiser. And when he aims for his Heisers, he stays on the outside of this foot, which is a smart thing to do. It teaches you to cross over the plant foot. It teaches you that if you want the Heiser, and let's say your plant foot's here, it teaches you that your disc has to cross the plant foot like this. And I think that's important. I think that's okay. But it takes away from the power that you could put into it. Whereas I would just select something that's more overstable, like a pyro or something like that, hang it further wide right, so I could commit to a fully wide shot. Or I would select a lower weight hex, something that's not gonna, something that I could just manipulate the nose angle on and get it to either sit down or something like that. Something like 174, 172 hex, if you could get your hands on it, because discs are hard to get your hands on in the weight that you want them. So, I would take a lighter weight hex, and I would do that. But this is just, his releases are just so unbelievably clean in these videos. I like how he's using he's locking his head in. He uses his lower body to push up, to push like into it. Look at how much muscle he's got flexing in there. Jesus. All right, buddy, lay off the roids. Good Lord. I bet you sometimes like just hang out of the helicopter, like you just strap up and you just jump off of it and just get suspended, or you just like hold on to it with one arm just to live life on the edge for once. Is that what you do? Or I think you just pilot it. I still think that you hang off of it even while you're piloting it. I think you're just that amazing. Look at that. It's just a nice soft release. The pivot, he's pivoting on the ball of his foot. He's not transferring it to the heel. There is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. I think transferring to the heel allows you to keep your center of gravity pivoting in the right area so that you're not over leaning on it, and that you like pivoting to the heel and the heel just turns, and you just follow it with your chest, and you can push your chest into it and you can just sit on the heel and do that. But the problem with that is if you're not careful, pivoting on the heel can lead to ankle injuries, and it can lead to stress on all the other ligaments in the kneecaps, or in the kneecaps. It can put a lot of strain on your knee by pivoting on the heel. The ball of the foot is the healthiest thing to do, in my opinion. I'm not a medical expert. Actually, Aaron knows more about the medical field than I do. I'm not a sports physician. I don't know a lot about sports science. This is just something that I like to know how things work from top to bottom, and I think that that's the way to I think that's how that works. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. On to the next video. Tea time. Looks to be the same exact hole, this time with an atom, I'm believing. It is definitely a putter shot, electron plastic. So anyway, let's do the usual. Watch the shot and then talk about it. Okay, I gotta turn the homie down. Is that I don't know if he's wearing a lapel mic or something. Yeah, he's wearing a microphone. That's him. That's not his camera guy. He's wearing a lapel mic. Aaron, I love you for that. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay. Like I said, let's walk. We watched the shot. It held right. Okay. For days. Okay, and it looks like the video was cut off. So let's talk about what went wrong. And I don't think a lot went wrong on this shot. I just think that he was overpowering a putter. That's all what I think it was, is that he just overpowered a putter. It looks like a dead calm day. Just an amazing day for golf. Anyway, here we go. So let's talk about the walk-up. Like I said, for that same shot with the putter, he probably wants to place... if he places his foot in this area, which is just outside of zone 1, that's what's going to cause it to hang wide right, because he crosses a little bit too far, typically outside of his power pocket. But the putter does tend to lift. So as he's keeping tight with his body, with his center, with his rotational energy, as he's keeping that tight to his body, the disc is not necessarily following that same rule. So he's not utilizing his front foot to dictate the pulling line. But if he's trying to hyzer, sometimes that's where that variance lies, is the fact that when he's pushing the disc to the outside of and away from his body, versus keeping it tight and using his lower body to dictate where he's going to pull that disc. So break her down a little bit, slow it down, see if we can look at it again. Let's see that back foot get placed. Like I said, you can see that front foot is going just outside of the first zone that I marked, just on the inside of it. Oh, no, instead he points the toe. So it's not just outside of it, he points the toe and he's outside of it. So he's trying to hyzer a lot with this putter so that it doesn't skip so bad. And he's trying to give it some nose angle upward, it looks like. Look at that. His hips are already pushing forward, and he's not leading with his elbow. And so, I mean, the chain here is really, really great. Look at that. The man's got power. I just think that he lost a lot with the way he pointed that foot. And I think that's where it all ended up. I think it all ended up. He's definitely aiming right so it can hyzer in. I don't think the fade is going to be as strong as the hex was, and I think he knew that, but he knew that the fade existed. And I think the biggest thing, the biggest part about this, is the biggest takeaway, I guess you could say, is that really what it is pointing that toe forward. Teaches your hips that it's okay to be open, and I just think that's I don't think that that's the shot that you were looking for, and I think that's why it was hanging wide right, because you were able to come down over it as you pulled and hang on to it for just a hair longer. Yeah, 9 times out of 10 on all these pulls, that disc is coming out earlier than that. It's coming out right about, let me get my marker. 9 times out of 10, when you put your foot there and you're pulling across a straight line or whatever, you're just coming out here when it's coming out right there. So it flips up. It's a little on the Heiser side, but it's gyro. It's gyro. It's gonna stand up. It don't matter. Gyro stands up. That's what it does. So it stands up, and then it catches the wind, or catches its air and its glide rating, and you're still pivoting. And so on your follow through, it just catches up with you. I don't think there was anything really wrong with that throw. I think you were just setting up incorrectly. That's really all I could say about it. I think it was just all set up in that last video. Nothing crazy. Pretty simple stuff. So I guess ultimately what it boils down to is considering that front foot when it comes to theory. I think ultimately you're doing the right thing. I think you're throwing with plenty of distance. I think if you trusted it a little bit more and got that arm a little bit tighter to the line and put that front foot out just a hair, not a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot. I think you're going to see that extra 20 or 30 feet that I think you're looking for. I don't think you're looking for a ton of extra distance. I think you got it where you want it, considering those holes are probably in the 250, 280 range, most of them. And you're throwing mids and putters. I mean, you're definitely well off in your game. Everything looks good. I don't see any reason. I mean, you didn't send me one single driver video, and I think, honest to goodness, the real winner here is you. I think you're well aware of your movements, and I think you're, other than that foot being there, and you're throwing predominantly Heisers, which is already going to take some out of your some wind out of your sails. If you master the flat release and you master bringing that foot forward just a little bit as the plant foot, and allowing that disc to enter the power pocket and actually letting those hips carry and keeping it as smooth and muscle-less as possible, I think you're going to add a significant amount of distance. That Simon Lizotte says it, and that's slow is smooth, smooth is far. And what I say is slow is smooth, smooth is far, but also smooth is accurate. And I think you get some really great shots on video, and there's some really great things at work here. So keep it up. Send me whatever you want, and I'd love to see it, putting form, everything. It was all looking really, really, really good, Aaron, and I look forward to more videos from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.